Hi guys, I'm going to do 3 videos, one of which is my usual call out video. I'm going to try and find evidence for everything as well. Then I have I don't really call it a story time. I did something interesting last week, so I'm going to tell you about that. And then the other one is going to be more on the writer's side, which is the one I'm going to do now, which is a bit of advice if you want to become published. Now, the reason why the thought of doing this video occurred to me is because I remembered something. I nearly bumped into an old friend that we don't have any contact with anymore a couple of weeks ago, and it reminded me of something she once said. And it's something that a lot of authors get into the head before they get published. Now, most of you may be aware I'm already published. I've just signed my contract for my 6th book. And a book was released on Saturday the 28th of October, where I was featured as one of the authors in the book. That's done really well, actually. Now, this advice is something you need to remember from the get-go. It's something that is worth knowing beforehand, before you even start the process. Because the process is a long process. The process of getting published isn't a quick process. I was lucky in a few respects, so it wasn't as long as it normally would be for others for me. But like I said, I was lucky. Now, lots of you are probably thinking, just stop whittering on and get on with it, woman. Most authors, when they are pitching to both publishing houses and agents, they don't pay attention to the genres of that particular publisher or that particular agent cover. Now, I don't have an agent, I deal directly with the publisher, but that is very, very rare. It's more common with the smaller publishing houses, which is what I'm with. Larger publishing houses is pretty much unheard of, and unfortunately that's just the way it is. Now, there is obviously a payoff on that. Small publishing houses don't have the marketing departments and things like that to do the amount of marketing that the bigger publishing houses can. So it's one of those things. But once you get yourself out there, you build up an audience. Now, before you get to that stage, there is a book. If I can remember the title of it, I'll put it underneath. And it's a book which has a list of all the publishing houses, what genres they do, and all the agents on what genres they do. And a lot of people, and this is one thing that both agents and publishers hate, is, say, I'll use the publishing house I work for as an example. The publishing house I work for does dark fiction. It does fiction with vampires, werewolves, demons. It does romantic fiction. We do have a section which is LGBT fiction, and then the one I'm with is more dark, more demonic, more raw, which is fantasy. And the friend of mine, she had written a story about the life of a cat from the cat's point of view. And she said, well, why don't you give that book to your publisher? I said, she won't accept it. She says, well, you never know unless you don't ask. I said, yeah, I do. I said, because it's not in the genre that she does. Well, you never know. She might want to publish it if she's it. That is the one thing that authors do that really pisses people off sometimes. Just because you have written a book with the name of, say, you've written a book of child fiction, don't pitch that book to somebody that doesn't handle child fiction, because they won't accept it, because they don't know the market, they don't know the best way to present it. they don't know the best way to handle it, because it's not in their genre, it's not in their niche, it's not in their market. They deal with a very specific market, and it's one thing that really pisses most people off in the publishing world, because people automatically assume, oh, I can send my book about talking rabbits to fantasy, and so, you know, my boss would turn around and say, no, because it doesn't fit with the brand, it doesn't fit with the genre. Now, the biggest exception being the bigger publishing houses, because they handle pretty much all genres. By big, I'm talking the big ones, like the ones that J.K. Rowling's with and so on. Now, the thing is with things like the bigger publishing houses, you don't get as much royalties, and I'll explain what I mean. When you go through a bigger publishing house and you go through an agent, your contract is usually 15 to 20% if you're lucky, and out of that you have to pay your agent, and it doesn't matter whether you've earned $5 or 5,000 or 5 million. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the agent still has to be paid. Now, I don't go through an agent, and I got directly through the publisher, and I get I get a certain percentage, but it's higher than if I was to go through an agent. And also, if I go through an agent, it is a lot of the time, although they're there to facilitate you getting published, they're not always the most diligent to do that. And when you submit to a publishing house, it can take up to 12 weeks to get an answer. And most people get the answer that they don't want to get, which is the answer no. A lot of people always think that their work is perfect, that their work is, you know, it's better than any other literary piece of work that's ever been. And a lot of the time they get shocked to find out that it isn't. And when they get told no, they don't like it. They hate it, in fact. And it upsets them, which is, you can kind of understand why it would upset them. But at the end of the day, if you follow the guidelines, they usually have guidelines of how they want the format to be. They have specific guidelines on genre, on word count, and so on. If you stick to those, then you might be in with a chance, providing that the work is good. However, if the work isn't good, then the royal chance you will get knocked back. And I remember a book I once read, and I think the author thought it was the best thing since sliced bread, but it was disjointed. You'd have one chapter that was about one particular character in one particular time frame, and then he'd jump to another character in a totally different time frame in what seemed to be a totally different story. And I got a couple of chapters into it and I thought, I can't read the rest, because I know my stories, they're not, some of my stories can be a bit confusing. I don't know how, but I read one of my reviews for one of my books the other day, and the lady that was reviewing it, she managed to confuse 4 different characters as one, when it's clear that they're different characters. It's clear that they're different people. And it's like, really? And, you know, and my book is well written. My book is, the vast majority of people who have read it haven't had an issue. And to me it's amusing, because it's funny that, yeah, it is funny, but, oh, it's funny. But yeah, if you're wanting to get published and you want to do it the way through and either an agent or a publishing house, then stick to those genres. In the book, like I said, I'll find the title and I'll put it down below, and I'll put a link to it on Amazon. And in that book, it's got a list of the authors and a list of the publishers. Now, I know we have one over here for the UK and then there's one for the US. And if you stick to the people that cover the genre that you write, then you'll be fine. And the only issue with self-publishing is that with publishing, whether it's through a small handling house or a larger handling house, there are people that catch the grammatical errors. Now, no book is perfect ever, but just because you publish a book doesn't mean that it's perfect in every way, because it isn't. Because if you don't go through a publishing house and you don't use an external editor, granted they're not cheap, but still, then there is a chance that your grammar and spelling could be incorrect. The amount of times I've written a sentence on Word and it seems to be fine, spelling's fine, everything else, as soon as it goes to my editor, there's something wrong with it. Because nobody's grammar is perfect, not even an editor's. An editor's grammar is usually a lot better than most humans and most computers, but it's never perfect. And especially with me, because most of my stories are based in the US, I'm based here in the UK. Now, what that means is I generally write in British English, but when it goes over to my editor, she translates it into American English, because the story is based in America. So we have a thing where it is being, because it's based in America, it's in American English, which alters the sentence structure. And it's one of those things that you live and learn. Things and people are there to help you. But if you do go down the self-publishing route, it isn't going to be easy, because you're not going to have the advice that being with a small publishing house would give you. You've not got the support. You've not got the backing. You've not got the double check in place, if you will. Even when you're with a small publishing house, you can go with an external cover artist. You can go with an external editor. That's completely up to you. But at the end of the day, if you want to be published, try to stick to the publishing house rules. Because, like I said, people always say, "Oh, they'll read my story and they'll want to publish it." It's like, that's not how it works. If they don't cover that genre, no matter how good your book is, they won't publish it, because it's not their market. So, just a bit of advice for you. Now, I know most people won't watch this one because it's book related, and while my book related videos do get views, they don't get as much views as some of my others. So, right. With that being said, stay safe, be good, have fun, and I will see you very soon.